Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sports Card Madness brought to you by DraftKings and their new app, Pick Six. Sign up with code Madness6 for up to $50 in free credits. This is LZ. I am here with Nick, and today we're going to cover a lot. We're going to talk about shenanigans happening in the hobby. We're going to talk about a really interesting auction that just happened, etiquette on how to act over IG and when you're at these events, big festivals, big events that are happening. Let's get into it, Nick. How you doing, man? Good to hear you.
What's going on? Good
Yeah.
to talk to you, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we haven't
so
caught up in a while.
I know, I think I had a I had like a real problem with the David Adams thing. What ended up happening, it was like the straw on the camel's back. I was
Yeah.
wondering like what on earth is going on with them? They're putting out bounties that are like 20 times the fair value of cards. Like a Babe
Mm.
Ruth superfractor, a Lou Gehrig superfractor. It's just junk, it's just stupid, and they're just paying too much for it. And then like what happens with the card after? So I started to actually think about this a bit more. It's like why are these bounties in place and what's behind them? And I kind of put it on ice and I wasn't going to get fired up about it. And then something happened. Ghostwrite put out some figures. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
I think they're silly, but again, we'll get into that in a sec.
Hmm. Yep.
But they put out these figures and then they decided to put a $30,000 bounty on a specific Caitlin Clark figure. And then I lost my shit. And I was
Yeah, we're
like,
biting our tongues around these figures right now. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I
30
said,
grand.
we'll trash the
30.
figures in a minute.
Yeah.
Before we do that, I want to talk constructively about these bounties and how they could possibly work.
Hmm.
So I want to think of David Adams not only as a wax company and a hobby company and a
Yeah.
breaking company, whatever. They are also a marketing company. And so part of a product launch, you look around, you pick your influencers, right? And then you look at David Adams and you think, if they put a bounty on this product, that's a perfect launch. And
Hmm.
so do you, I'm just going to ask you this, LZ. Do you think that they're doing it for free?
There's
Like,
no way they're doing it for free.
right. It
There's
doesn't,
no way.
yeah.
They have high expenses, man. They got a couple buildings now. They got a couple offices. There's
Yeah.
some real expenses involved with this company. They're not
That
doing that
pop-up
for free.
shop with like five people in it
Yeah.
in the Empire State Building.
No, that's not even a pop-up shop. That is not a pop-up shop. That is a brick and mortar. We're here to stay shop.
Oof.
No one was in that store.
All right, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care what anybody says, man. They're getting paid for these bounties on the back end or a kickback. They are
Mm.
literally collabing with Ghostwrite on posts. You're telling me they're not they think out of the good of their hearts that it like most bounties are like Ken Golden wants a card. That's cool. Like, all
Yeah.
right, awesome. I understand that. A certain
Mhm.
whale wants a card, or Jeff wants to be stupid and funny and like bounty on a card. This is a business putting a bounty out on a card that affects the values of the shit that they are selling. That's a
Yeah.
problem. They're not
Yeah.
security, so it's not illegal, but it's really bad form. And then on top of that, now they're inflating the prices and they have to be getting a kickback. And the crazy thing is
They
they never
must be.
these cards that they collect in bounties, they never resell them. They're smart because if they did and they resold a card and it was like 1/10 the value, that would be like a huge
Yeah.
red flag, right?
Hmm.
So I hate this bounty crap and I called him out for it repeatedly. I actually had dialogue with them on Instagram and I said, please explain $30,000 value on this figure. And it was crickets, man. They did not want to address it. So I'm going to keep on dealing with this until I make these ridiculous bounties go away. Again, I like
Yeah.
bounties for people. I think bounties with companies are wrong, especially when the companies are partnered with people.
It was interesting, and for all those listening, like please like listen to what Nick just said because there was definitely an aha moment. What was it last week or whenever you started talking about this of I started playing back in my head all these different bounties that I see, especially the David Adams ones, right? I think I want to say like 6 months ago, they had some like Babe Ruth refractor that was like $500,000. And when I saw it, I was thinking like, why the hell do they care about this card so much? Like they're willing to pay $500,000 for this. But now it's starting to make sense, everybody. When you see these bounties, you need to question them. Why in the world would someone pay a bounty $500,000 for a Babe Ruth that was made in 2024? What are we doing here, people?
Yeah, the other thing that concerns me is while Topps may not be writing them a check to produce these bounties, They may have a sort of gentleman's agreement with Topps saying, all right, I want this allocation for next year
Allocation.
at this
Mm,
price, by the way. And
hmm
that includes one bounty per year on said product. That includes X, Y, Z. And that can be done as well. That's still a kickback. And
Yeah.
I just want people to think about, like, when they start ripping these and going after these cards and going after these bounties, just think about the system that you are in a little bit. You know it's stupid. Go
hmm
with your gut. That's a stupid price. Why? And then back off and like understand the
Mm.
scope of what's happening.
Yeah. It's back in the day, cigarettes were healthy for you, Nick, right? You had all
Yeah.
these brands pumping cigarettes, has good vitamins in them. They're healthy for you.
You
Like
want a fun
you
field
were in
trip?
the system.
Go to a library, grab some old Sports Illustrateds on microfiche or whatever, or you can probably do it online now. The ads are amazing.
Yeah.
It's like
Marlboro Man.
Arthur Ashe is like, I smoke Marlboros because that doesn't get my wind. Like that's an actual ad. Like he chooses this cigarette, it doesn't wind him when he's like playing, Hall of Fame
Yeah.
level tennis.
hmm
Wow, it's crazy. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's yeah. Advertising is a racket. Marketing is a racket. David Adams is also a marketing company, and I'm going to start to expose them. If I can
Didn't
find out, it'll be great.
didn't you touch on the legality of all this too? Like whether this is even legal for them and
Yeah,
others to be doing
this
this?
is
Get
this
into
is
that a little
funny.
bit. Yeah.
1934 Securities and Exchange Acts covers pump and dump. Pump and dump is
Mhm.
essentially like Jim Cramer. He's on. He's got a great megaphone. If he says buy Nvidia, the price of Nvidia goes up. Jim Cramer's not allowed to buy and sell stocks unless it's for
Yeah.
charity, because he can move the market. There is no such thing because sports cards are not securities. However, in July of 2024, a digital sports card was considered a security
Right.
by a
Yes.
federal court.
hmm
And if these boxes, they're going to have to be wicked careful with this. Like if some of these boxes contain, digital redemptions, digital NFTs or something like that, I could definitely see a court case with maybe even me. Maybe I'm pissed off enough to take him to court and we have a little dance in front of the public and we say, you are pumping this security up that can be easily exchanged, but it's a gray area because cards aren't securities right now. So I don't think that's what they're doing is not illegal yet. Could change the definition of a
It's
security could
definitely on the
change.
line. Yeah.
Um, Kickbacks are not illegal too. It's how business is conducted. It's
hmm
just when they don't disclose it, that actually can become illegal. Now that's an FTC thing. I
Right.
made my money in affiliate marketing, and you have to disclose I'm going to profit off of this, or I have a partnership with, and some of the influencers
Right.
haven't done that. And so if David Adams,
Brought to you by DraftKings Pick Six, Nick,
right,
right? We say
I,
it at the beginning of every show.
right, I have to hit the paid promotion button on YouTube, and if somebody pays
hmm
me on Instagram, I got to say hashtag ad or partner or whatever, right?
hmm
Um, if Damon Adams is benefiting from this relationship in a monetary way, such as more allocation, better prices, or in the case of Ghostwrite, some other benefit down the road, it could be anything with monetary value. They have to disclose that. And I don't think they have. They've collabed on Reels with Ghostwrite and they haven't. And these bounty, like, I do think there's a court case to be had in terms of disclosure with them. And that's fascinating. I'm not pissed off enough yet, but I'm getting there. And I don't mind paying
Yeah.
an attorney to mess around. We'll see.
We'll see, man. We'll see. Well, yeah, we'll see. It's wild. Um, let's stop talking about bounties and let's talk about real cash for real collectibles.
Hmm.
I had the opportunity. I was in New York this past week. I had the opportunity to attend the Sotheby's auction in person. It was called the Goat Collection, Watches and Treasures from Tom Brady.
Hmm.
And shout out to Matt Sposta, founder of Trove, also the founder of Shoebox AI Grading. Matt's an awesome guy. I was his +1 for the event, and we were. It was an incredible night, Nick. So I just wanted to kind of walk it through because you and I haven't had a chance to catch up, but there was some big money being thrown around that night. Big money. We show up first off. Sotheby's is just they've got a beautiful office space. It's gorgeous. We go up to the seventh floor and you walk in insanely high ceilings. It's like, a 30-foot or higher ceiling room, and beautiful is cocktail hour right when you get off of the elevator. Get everybody lubed up a little bit before they're going to be bidding on some products. So there was hors d'oeuvres and cocktails, and there were some people around. For those that saw the Sotheby's one that happened, let's call it 4 months ago, the one that like Michael Rubin was there and Robert Kraft and like some celebrities. This was not that event. And I think this wasn't that event because this was like these are like high-end watch collectors that were
Huh.
there. Yeah. There was no trading cards, but there was a lot of jerseys, Tom Brady jerseys that were on sale. Well, up for auction. So me and Matt's a good guy. Introduced me to people. It was great. Just getting to know some additional people in the hobby. Um, Go over and get my paddle. Like I'm actually going to bid on any of this crap.
Right.
Like who the hell was I thinking? But I'm like, I'm at Sotheby's. I have to get a paddle, right? I got to get one.
Sure.
So signed up, got my paddle. Then they bring us into the room and things just kick off. Very cool. There's a stage in front of you to the left and to the right. There's almost like high school gym like bleacher seats kind of to the right, and they're probably real seats. And they're all Sotheby's employees like working the phones. So you had people in the room with our paddles, including me. You had these kind of two to the side, these two sections to the side with people on the phones, and then you had a screen of people online. And they got right into it. It was really cool. So just a couple interesting pieces. Um, Tom Brady's Michigan game worn jersey that shoot, I forget, was it the Rose Bowl that he went to in Michigan? I forget, one of the bowl games that he went to, that actually went for it was more than $650,000 for that
Wow.
jersey.
That's
More
crazy.
than that.
What an interesting
Um,
mix, like jerseys and watches, you know?
yeah.
And I looked at a lot of these. I looked at some of the stuff coming up, and it's like, man, this dude owned like a lot of watches. I
He
mean, I'm sure that he probably gets a lot of gifts from a lot of people, like all the time, right? And it's like, here's a, Patek Philippe watch or whatever, Breitling watch. And it's funny. It's like, hey, this was worn by Brady. It's kind of like, not game worn, it's like life worn,
life worn.
life
That's a good way
worn
to put it.
watches.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually have the website up here. So there was like some game worn helmets. There was some balls like his 100,000 yard pass. There was, yeah, again, beautiful watches. Two other items that stood out to me. One was remember the Super Bowl last year, the Dun Kings commercial with Damon and Affleck and Tom
Yes.
Brady.
Oh, that was
All right,
great.
and the
Yeah.
J Lo was in it
Yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah. That was amazing.
So he auctioned off that jumpsuit,
Oh,
the
jeez.
jumpsuit, and it was funny because
That's
I should have
awesome.
got this because this is kind of the punchline of the story, but whatever, it's fine. That was the one that like everybody stuck around for to see what it would go for, and
Yeah.
then after that one went, people started trickling out because that one was kind of towards the end. So
All right, what did
Sotheby's
it
is
go for,
smart,
dude?
right?
I need to know.
That went for $50,000. I think that's
Yeah.
what I think that's
That's
what
awesome.
I think that's what the final bidder paid because Sotheby's gets their fee. I think in the room it went for like 35 grand, but I think there was like a big fee on it. So I think it went for like 50,000. Um, the biggest item of the night was a one of a kind Paul Newman Rolex.
Ooh.
It went for more than $1 million.
That's random. Like it's a Tom Brady auction.
Yeah.
They sprinkled some other stuff in, it sounds like.
No, but Tom Brady, it was his watch.
Oh, even
So
cooler.
he had the Paul Newman like series Rolex, and
Okay.
apparently like they only made one of them. Tom Brady had it.
Wow. All right. So he liked
So
watches.
yeah, there was probably a dozen watches. So again, I talked about Matt. Matt knew a lot of people in the room, and he introduced me to this guy who was like not into sports memorabilia at all. He's just like a watch guy. So he
Mm.
was there just for the Tom Brady watches. There was a lot of
Cool.
people in the room like that. But there was probably a dozen watches, and every one of them went for at least I think the cheapest one went for definitely above $100,000.
Wow.
Definitely.
Crazy.
Definitely.
I have a new
Yeah.
definition of wealth now.
Yeah, for sure, man.
You are
For sure.
wealthy when you are having an auction about you while you're still alive.
Hmm.
That's my new That's
Yeah.
like the next level of wealth, right? Like he's
A
not
little bit
Tom
more.
Brady's not dead, you know.
Yeah.
He
The
can still wear plenty of watches.
disappointing thing is he didn't show up. That was kind of a bummer.
Weird. Yeah, sign
Yeah,
a
that
couple
was weird.
things, you know.
Well,
Hmm.
that's another thing I'll touch on in a minute, but I will give him a shout out. The day before, he met with like six high rollers that were going to be at the auction the next night, and he
Okay.
sat down with them and went over with them, um, kind of the different things. But he
Hmm.
didn't show up. He didn't show up for the night of it, which is a bummer because I was
Remember the
psyched, man.
controversy for that last private event where he signed a bunch of stuff in a crappy way? Maybe he had like a bad taste from
Oh,
that.
ooh. Well, speaking of that, I'm glad you brought that up. One of the things that I was shocked about was all of those game worn jerseys. Like there was even remember the NFL Combine, that famous picture of him with his shirt off and then he runs like
Yeah.
the 6 second 40-yard dash.
He's got a dad
That
bod. Yeah.
that t-shirt of him at the Combine got auctioned off, right? But there were like all these items, all these game worn jerseys. He didn't sign any of them. None of them. And I said to myself, if you're looking to maximize profits, why the hell wouldn't you put your signature on there and get another $100,000 for every single one of these?
Because he's too busy getting paid $1 million for an event fee somewhere else. He doesn't
It's
have the
true.
time. It's
It's
like,
true. But he was there the day before. He was there the
oh,
day
right.
before.
No
Like I
excuse.
want
Just sign the damn thing. I hear
we
you,
got to
man.
have Sotheby's on. I would love to talk to them about like why didn't Tom sign all these? Like just give us the logistics of the
Oh,
day
if we have
before. Why?
Sotheby's on, I have a lot of fun questions.
Yeah, right. That would be cool. So we'll
How
try to
often
get
do
them
people
on.
actually pay? How often do they blame alcohol? It's like, eBay, they're like, the dog ate my kid
Yeah.
got on the computer and bid on that item. I want to hear the best stories from Sotheby about people backing out of shit.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, that would be good. That would be good.
Oh
Um,
man.
so yeah, so that's it. Very cool event. Um, if I ever go to one of those again, I'm definitely gonna jump into the bidding because I mean these things go for like crazy amounts of money. So I'm just gonna bid. I'm gonna be the first one to bid on every item. I'm just gonna raise my paddle first time every time. First time. Every time.
Just to say you
I'll
were
be
part
the
of it.
I'll be the $10,000
That's
bid.
like
And the
bidding
thing
on
is,
a Jordan rookie on eBay for like $1 right
yeah,
after the auction starts. You're like, hey,
yeah.
I'm part of the auction.
I was part of it. I was part of it. All
All
right,
right.
let's get to these stupid dolls, Nick, that we meant to
Yeah.
touch on earlier, but I was excited to talk about Sotheby's. Let's
I'll,
let's get let's get
I'll
into
tell
the
you, man, if you want to waste money fast. So we started to talk about these dolls. So I talked about the bounty, the $30,000 bounty.
yeah.
These dolls I'm referring to, there's a company called Ghostwrite, founded by Josh Luber, who was with Fanatics and StockX and legendary pumper, probably a great guy. I don't know. I've never talked to him. He decided it was,
I've heard he's a great guy.
yeah, I'm
That's what
sure
I've
he
heard
is. I'm
from a
sure
lot
he
of
is.
people.
The product
Yeah.
sucks, but I'm sure he's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So he got the WNBA license for these figures. So they
Good
look
for
like,
him.
yeah, great.
Jeez.
They actually look a little bit more. I'll flash one on the screen, but they look a little more like Playmobil to Lego. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that German version of the Legos, which are actually good
Yep.
quality.
Mhm.
They look really
German
bad.
engineered, Nick.
So I had my German son. He took his 3D printer and just for fun, I had him design his own Ghostwrite figure. And he did a better job for 3 cents than these guys. So anyway, the boxes were going to breakers for like 450, something like that. So that puts the figure price at, I think it's 12 in a box, something like that. So the wholesale figure price is like 40 bucks, right? And
Okay.
they put a bounty out for 30,000. These figures are a joke. Nobody wants them. I've done multiple
For
surveys.
$40 bounty
$40.
of
I'll tell you what,
30,000.
man. You want to have a nice day at the office? All right. Instead of spending $40 on this, sign up for DraftKings Pick Six. All right. You'll get $50 today for free.
Today?
Boom. You're
Yeah.
ahead. You don't have to buy a crappy WNBA figure. Okay.
You just doubled your money, Nick.
Madness 6. Enter the code. Boom. $50. You didn't just double your money. You put $5 in, they give you $50 free.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
You got no
More than
problem.
double.
You have 10 extra money,
Yeah.
and you could just laugh at these dolls. Or you know what? Take that money and buy a silly doll if you want. So now they're selling on eBay already for like 33 bucks a piece for a base one. And
Mhm.
that quickly in the hype cycle is a problem. These things are going to be at Five Below in like 6 months. Like somebody's going to be like, what are these? And it's because he's got the license to
Hmm.
WNBA and he's trying to get like a collectible thing. So all these breakers, like Mama Breaks,
Yeah.
okay, she's doing partnerships with them, but she's not saying
Credit to
partnership.
Josh. Credit to Josh, Nick.
Yeah, it's a great entry strategy.
Yeah.
What my
Hmm.
problem is Mama Breaks isn't saying like, I'm being paid by these guys.
Hmm.
That's bad because kids follow her and look up to her, and she's a prominent breaker. So she should say, like, I have partnered with them when
Yeah.
she collabs on a reel. And it's just, man, like the hype reel she did, she's like, oh, let's go. Let's go. Like, it's like, come on, man. Come on. No, this is not exciting at
No,
all.
no, this isn't the let's go moment right
Yeah,
here.
like,
There's
and then he
not a
did a
let's
reel with
go.
Gary V.
Yeah.
Gary V's like trying to not laugh the whole time. Yeah, oh, what
Oh,
is this? A
Gary.
purple super duper parallel? Like, this stuff is crap. If you buy it, it's on you. Like, you're a fool.
So
So
again, it's a testament to Josh because he's got a lot of friends in the hobby, and I'm sure he had to call in a few favors, right? He talked with Gary V. He talked with a lot of people about this, Nick. So yeah, credit to him. But I mean, the bounty on that, it's like, shoot, man. Well, you know what? I was just gonna say it probably costs like 2 cents to make this, but
yeah.
it doesn't cost much to make a trading card either, Nick, right?
Yeah, no,
We-
the
yeah,
license is the fee, clearly.
yeah, the
I mean, that's
license.
that's the
Mhm.
cost. My son's competitor doll isn't licensed. I called it Ghostwrite Mercury just for fun.
Oh, ooh.
And I put 22 on it and everything, but obviously, and Indiana's colors just for the fun of it. Um,
Oh.
but we didn't sell them. If we do, it would be for charity. So
So
whatever.
you said that you saw a couple sell on eBay for like $30 or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
right?
33 bucks on December 12th.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is at the time this episode airs, but that's a
Mm.
base product that's under the price of an individual box out of a case. This stuff, this is the peak of the hype cycle. Like they
Yeah.
just got broken and the base is selling for like
Hmm.
25% less than cost. It's just this is garbage. There might be a few things that have value, like maybe the one of one Caitlin Clark that's been pumped up. You'll probably get like there are Caitlin Clark. I know a Caitlin Clark collector. He's a
Yeah.
buddy of mine. He might overpay for that significantly.
Yeah.
Not I guess overpay is the wrong word. Somebody might bite on anything Caitlin Clark, and that's legitimate. And maybe some of the others, the other good players like Angel Reese and stuff. But I mean, the most 99.9% of this is just going in the toilet and Five Below.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Let's talk about Fanatics Fest. It was announced recently that they are going to have a Fanatics Fest in 2025. I believe it's going to be in June.
They are
Uh,
planning to.
Planning. Good. Yep. Yeah. Good correction there, man. Good correction. But what was interesting that came out this week, well, you actually pumped a bit of this, was that the 2024 Fanatics Fest, that thing was in real trouble.
Oh yeah.
7 days before
No one
Fanatics
believes
Fest.
me. Everybody's like, oh, it was sunshine and rainbows,
Yeah.
this amazing event. And there I am, God forbid, like using my brain like partially and like digging.
Yeah.
And then I find something.
7 days before, they had only sold 8,000 tickets at the Javits Center, which is one of the biggest conference event spaces probably in the country. State of the art, probably the most expensive, I'm
What do you
sure.
think? What do you think that holds for a convention? 50,000,
Oh,
100,
how much?
150,000, 500,000? How many people do you think it holds?
Definitely, yeah. I think it's definitely got to be 100,000 plus. And the reason why I hesitated there is I do attend a lot of tech conferences in Vegas, and those spaces are huge. And they actually end up like you'll have a few hotels combined to like make the space bigger.
Right.
I've been to one that's been 60,000, 100,000. There's a really big one in San Francisco called the Moscone Center that I think holds close to 100. So it might actually be less than
I
100.
got it up on the website here. It's
All right,
interesting.
what do we got?
It
Yeah.
says it's weird. It's like seated guests 6,000, 40,000 for receptions. This is AI yanking crap for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's call it 50,000.
60.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
going to call
60.
it 60,
Yeah.
60,000. Yeah. It
All right.
takes yeah.
So,
But you
what's that?
sold
20%? What's
8,000?
8,000 into 50,000?
Yeah.
That's not capacity. Okay.
So the biggest thing I want you to talk about with this one, Nick, is you made the point around Michael Rubin talked about with 7 days left. They had only sold 8, and he went himself, the CEO of Fanatics himself, went on like this media marketing blitz. Was on the Today Show, was on ESPN, was on podcasts, was on radio shows. He was like doing everything. And my first thought when you said this, Nick, was why the hell does the CEO need to do that? Like,
Yeah.
holy crap. This was like big trouble for a moment there for him.
It's I did a video on this about how operationally Fanatics is not sound. Never mind Fanatics collects, so there's 3 companies under Fanatics. What's happening there, if you look at the board, you look at the holding company board, there's no COO. There's a chief of staff. There's plenty of strategy guys. There's like 7. There's chief of PR, et cetera, et cetera. There's no like, where's the Steve Jobs? Like that guy before he became COO. Where's the, you need an operational guy that's actually going to get a Gantt chart out and be like, all right, let's work backwards. Actually, like figure out where we
work
need to
backwards.
be 8 months
Work
out,
backwards.
and we need to advertise here and there and there and make it effective. Now I'm starting to see why EJ Farrow was laid off. It was probably performance. He probably didn't do a good job. But I think what's happening when you have a dictatorship like this, where you have a billionaire CEO who's greatly revered, right? You have a lot of strategy guys that will cover things up on a whiteboard and be like, all right, this is how the company's doing. It's amazing. We're going to go into blue ocean territories and we're going to get after these categories.
Green
and they
fields.
walk away.
Yeah.
You've seen this, man. You've been in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the associates are like, geez, what do we do? What do we actually do? No, there's nothing to actually
What did we just sign up for?
And the worst thing is that Michael Rubin's at the head of this and thinks everything's fine because the strategy guys are telling him everything's fine. We got a new event. We're going to crush Comic-Con. We're going to enter this new domain. And then all of a sudden, Michael Rubin's like, my name's on this company. My name's on this event. And it's at 18% capacity right now.
And there's only 7 days left?
That's it. I'm calling everybody. And that's another thing somebody brought up is like, these athletes can't really say no to him because they have so much money tied up in, like the licensing, the merchandising deals.
Good
and
call.
it's almost like extortion in a way. I mean, he's gotten to this point. It's like, come to my event. And that's fine. There's nothing illegal about it. It's just he's got their neck in like a chokehold. And so the rappers show up. These guys show up. They get their money. They get their checks. He does the media tour because he can. He's a billionaire. Everybody's going to take his call, put him on every show on CNBC or Good Morning America or whatever, and he makes it happen. I actually respect the hell out of that. He is a fantastic reactionary CEO and probably a very good gut strategy guy. He's not a good operations guy, and so he needs a COO to help him. Like he just has to. If he doesn't, he risks. There are many companies. The CEO thought everything was fine, and they're like a week away from bankruptcy. You know what I mean? I worry about Fanatics a little bit here. It's I've done a deep dive. I got another video on the channel about it. Actually got a playlist. It's called Fanatics Financial Coverage. In that playlist is everything I've done about their company internally and externally. So go check that out.
It's a good playlist.
But yeah, I don't know, man. That was no one believed
eye-opening.
me. Everybody thought it was perfect. They thought all the events were happening, and then I aired this reel where he's like, this is actually a little crazy. And the other influencers, crickets, because they're all slaves, man. They're all slaves. I'm the only one that's actually going to say the truth. It's crazy. Me and you.
Yeah, me and you, right? Yeah, we talked about this before. So yeah, that's what we're here for, man.
Wild.
That's what we're here for.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with New York. I do anticipate it happening. I think
it will.
They're going to go all in.
Yeah.
And then regional shows, they may be done forever. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So Fanatics Fest, interesting. So one of the crazier things that happened, we talked about a dinner in the past, right? And good etiquette. Right. Me and you are business guys. And we talked about a Fanatics dinner that was just like so Bush League with like the filming and stuff like that. And we talk about behavior in the hobby, like people behaving a certain way and conducting themselves with class, right? There's a certain we're in the public. Like you need to be classy. One of the things that happened, at this event involved Mama Breaks, and I didn't even really notice it at the time. I think because I'm so used to influencer behavior being so
Mm.
cheesy. You know, I love Mojo, but he was at the national like handing out, welcome to the national cards. It's like, all right, man,
Yeah.
I love you. It's a bit much though. And we do these things, and I'm guilty of it
Mm,
too. Like I do cheesy
mm,
stuff, right?
mm.
But there was a situation where Mama Breaks was not planned to be on stage. It might have looked like she was planned to be on stage for Instagram and YouTube and everything, but she wasn't. Dana White was, involved opening some cards, and Jeff Wilson was involved opening some cards. I don't even know if there was a Star Wars card on the stage, and you could literally see in the video, Mama just pushed her way up there, man. Got those
You just
ID,
bum rush the stage?
just bum rush the stage. What's up? With like the in your face to the 5 to 15-year-old demographic that really follows that stuff.
Yeah.
And like, look at the Star Wars stuff. Look at me. I'm at like, and the funny thing, man.
So wait a minute, hold on. Back it up.
Yeah,
Back it up, Nick. So there was something going on the stage, like a planned something, like a
that did not
talk.
involve her.
And she just jumped up live on stage while that talk was going on.
You could see how awkward it was too for Dana White. Rewatch that. It's pretty funny, man.
And I don't
So I
want to
believe,
rewatch it.
yeah, yeah. I think that was Fanatics Fest this year, and it's just like again, it's Bush League. I mean, this is like you look at the videos. This was like her first time in New York. It's like, all right, like like live a little bit. Don't behave this way.
Yeah.
Maybe do this on your third time in New York. I don't know. It was just like
Or
or
never,
never.
Nick, right? Um, in the business world, especially like if you're in sales and it's just you can play the short game or the long game when you're in business, right? And the short game it will get you quick wins, but in the
Yeah.
long term, it's gonna screw you.
Yeah, you think
And
Dana White wants to pay her money? Like yeah.
here's an example of like yeah, you got that short gain, but you pissed off a lot of people. And you might not have pissed off Fanatics because they were probably happy that you ran up on stage and you got some crazy views. But all the other people, all that other ecosystem of the hobby, those actions are going to catch up with you eventually.
Yeah.
When, events happen and opportunities happen, like opportunities to start companies and, maybe you can get some equity and stuff like you're not going to be getting those things if you're pissing people off throughout the hobby.
Yeah,
Just
they're
like,
just gonna look at her like a break. You're a breaker. Like your name's
yeah,
Mama Breaks, and that's
yeah.
her YouTube channel is just like, hey, I break stuff, but now I'm also touring shops that I also have a relationship with. It's weird, and like this
Mm-hmm.
behavior, it kind of reflects her process here a little bit. It's strange. So just don't act like that. Don't be cringy. Don't
I
jump off.
would say word of advice for anybody. Sorry to interrupt you. Word of advice for anybody who like, because I'm putting myself in her shoes, right? She's like, shoot, I'm gonna try to get a viral moment. Like I'm on Instagram all the time. Viral moments are huge. I want to get more subscribers, yada yada, followers. You can have your viral moment, but if it negatively impacts somebody else, don't do it.
Yeah,
You can have your viral moment. Like you can take off your shirt and jump into a trash can for a viral moment. All right. But if you're for those on audio, Nick's
oh man, yeah, we
laughing
know
at
who
that
did that.
reference.
Backyard breaks, baby.
Yeah. But if you're doing it at the detriment of somebody else who you actually probably respect in the space,
Yeah.
you don't do that. You don't do it. You think long term. You wait for your next moment. You can have another viral moment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like we've had Mama Breaks on our show early on, and she was great to talk to and everything. Um, it feels to me, I mean, your point has been made. We're talking about this months and months and months later. And we're seasoned guys, man. We've seen
Yeah.
everything. And we look at that, we're like, it's a little cringe. If she keeps that up, it is going to negatively affect her. So my advice is to just be patient and just do what you're doing and don't like force that cringy stuff. It's
Mm.
just not good for you. It's not good for the breakers. It's just not good for anyone like reflecting. Like you'll get your there's other ways to do it. You know what
Yeah.
I
You'll
mean?
get your time. You'll
It just
get it.
feels, it almost feels desperate. And it's like, why are you desperate if you're doing so well and you have all these relationships? Like, why do you really need those extra 10,000 views or 1,000
Hmm.
subs or whatever you're going to get from that? Just be comfortable and let them come to you. Like maybe would have worked out organically, but it's
Yeah.
just, I don't know, it's a bad look.
Hmm. All right. Well, let's end that. I don't want to talk about this topic anymore. I mean, it was good to dive into it, but let's be done with that one. All right. Are we wrapping it for today?
Yeah, let's kill it, man. This feels good enough for an episode to me.
Okay. All right,
All right.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye.